They said he was too old to work. That his time was up. But what they didn't know was that his time was just beginning. Henry Collins was the janitor everyone overlooked, until he turned the tables on an entire corporation. It all started in a company that prided itself on efficiency. Behind that word, however, lay something darker: greed, ageism, and a culture that chewed up the loyal, and spat them out. For 42 years, Henry had cleaned these halls. He never complained. He showed up before sunrise and left long after the executives had gone home. He had seen the company through 3 CEOs, 2 bankruptcies, and a dozen layoffs. But through it all, he stayed. This building was his pride. One morning, he was called into a meeting. "Henry, thank you for coming in. We appreciate your decades of service, but the company's going in a new direction," said Melissa, a mid-level manager, her expression polite but distant. Henry blinked slowly. "A new direction?" "Yes," Melissa replied, shrugging. "We're upgrading to more efficient staff. Younger, faster. You'll be given 2 weeks severance." After 42 years, Henry simply sat in silence. The camera might have lingered on his hands, calloused, trembling slightly, as his mop leaned against the wall like a soldier without orders. "After 42 years, that's it," he said quietly. Melissa gave a small, sympathetic nod. "I'm afraid so. We wish you the best in retirement." They thought they were firing a janitor. What they didn't realize was that they were firing the man who would soon own everything they stood on. Henry had no family and no pension worth mentioning. Just memories, and a secret he had kept quiet for decades. Years ago, during the company's first bankruptcy, employees were offered stock instead of pay. Most refused. Henry didn't. Every paycheck, he bought shares, tiny, worthless scraps at the time. "I may not be rich, but I'm not done yet," he whispered to himself. Meanwhile, inside the boardroom, panic had set in. "We're short on investors. Our numbers are crashing. We need capital, now." Charles, the current CEO, shouted. "Sir, there's a buyer interested. Says he wants full acquisition rights," Melissa reported. "Fine. Whoever he is, sell it before we sink," Charles said, exasperated. The lawyer stepped forward. "The buyer's name is Henry Collins. He purchased the majority shares last night. The deal is complete." "Wait, the janitor?" Charles exclaimed, incredulous. The next morning, employees whispered as Henry walked through the lobby, this time in a crisp suit. "Is that Henry?" one employee murmured. "I thought they fired him," another added. He had gone from sweeping floors to owning the building. "Mr. Collins, congratulations," Charles said, forcing a smile. "I suppose we'll be working for you now." Henry's calm voice cut through the tension. "Funny how life works, isn't it? 1 week ago, you said I was too old to be here." Melissa tried to interject. "Sir, we were just following company policy." Henry interrupted firmly. "Your policy lacked humanity. You measured people in years, not loyalty. Starting today, there'll be some changes," he continued. "Every worker who's been laid off unfairly will be rehired. No one will be discarded for their age again. This company will stand for dignity, not discrimination." He reinstated the janitorial crew first, giving them benefits, raises, and respect, things he had never had himself. "Mr. Collins, how'd you do it? How'd you buy the whole place?" asked a young janitor, awe in his voice. Henry smiled. "By believing I was worth more than the way they treated me." He hadn't bought the company to take revenge. He had bought it to rebuild it, the right way. Standing by the window, Henry looked over the city at sunset. For decades, he had been invisible, a ghost in his own workplace. But sometimes, the quietest people hold the loudest power. And when the world tells you you're too old, too small, or too late, it is worth remembering Henry Collins, the man they fired 1 week before he became their boss.